It was around 1 AM and as any guy at that hour, I was obviously having an existential crisis and searching for some anime to watch. On my legal anime streaming service where I legally pay monthly to legally watch anime, but will not mention for privacy purposes. As I was scrolling around, I saw an anime, Ongaku, with a really interesting cover. The first thing you notice is the art style, and that's what made me curious. And it really is like that. It's interesting and odd at the same time. Most of the time the background looks like it was painted by hand and the characters drawn digitally over it. Also, there are scenes where, from what I can assume, since there isn't too much information I found about this anime movie, it was a real life recorded and then drawn over each frame, kinda like a Joel Harper animation video. But even then, this unusual art style has a simplistic and vibrant feeling that it gives, that draws you in, not looking at this as just an anime but also as a piece of art, just like the story. If you watch One Punch Man or Nikijo, this anime is for you. Not only the main character is kinda like Saitama, though it's a coincidence since the manga appeared in 2005, he's bold, simple looking and has a bland yet amusing personality. There are moments where just funny stuff happens that also keeps the plot linear. I haven't laughed in a long time like that. It's simply a well written story combined with some good comedy. The story starts with three delinquents, just talking, until Kenji, the protagonist, appears from behind. They try to threaten Kenji, but immediately get scared and run off when he pulls out a cigarette. The interaction is really funny and stupid, and even though the beginning of the movie is a little slow, scenes like these really make it enjoyable. After that, music starts playing and the opening credits appear. I'm gonna go a little off track here and talk about the sound and the music. First thing, most of the time there is music is when they are playing or during the credits. Besides that, in the background there either is the small ambience of the people talking or the small breeze from outside, or nothingness. It was really noticeable. There were a few scenes where Kenji had to take like 20 seconds so he can say a sentence, and while it was obvious made for the comedic part, I generally thought the video froze or there were problems with the movie itself. The music itself is really good and sometimes mediocre, but on purpose. I'm the type of loser that listens to lo-fi or Midwest emo rock, yet I still enjoyed and appreciated the music in the movie. After that, Kenji arrives at school, meeting his friends Ota and Asakura in their club room, from what I can assume. Ota brings up to Kenji that some delinquents from Marutake want to fight them, and Kenji agrees. On their way, we are introduced to Aya, another friend of Kenji's, and they talk about what they're gonna do. While walking, they realize they have no idea where the school is. They try asking in a boxing dojo, but are too shy and they just leave. Next day, Aya visits them and asks about the fight, but tell her what happened. She can tell them where the school is located, but this time Kenji doesn't feel like going. He goes on a late night walk outside. A thief stole a purse, running past him, but Kenji is a Sigma male, so he just minds his business. A man asks Kenji to hold his guitar so he can chase the thief, which he ends up catching. But it took way too long and Kenji got bored, so he walked home with the guitar. Next day at school, Kenji asks for his friends to start a band. They agree, but neither of them know how to play any instruments. Entering the music club room, they end up stealing more instruments and some amplifiers. Reaching Kenji's room, Ota points out how there are actually two basses. Kenji obviously doesn't care and they start playing. It sounds mediocre. Kenji and Ota are just hitting the strings and Asakura is hitting the tom and snare at the same time. The only thing that doesn't make it sound like absolute shit is the fact that they are in sync and have the same rhythm. We get transition to the delinquents from Marutake. They're talking about how some quit the gang because of Kenji and they want to teach him a lesson. Chilling on the school roof, Kenji and his friends talk about the instruments, when Aya finds them and talks to Kenji about how Oba wants to fight him. He doesn't care about fighting anymore as he's interested in music. Aya, intrigued by what she's being told, gets curious and wants to listen to them playing. She's amazed what sounds are produced and asks about their band name. Kenji realizes they don't have one, so they just need to decide. Asakura says Kobujutsu, and Kenji immediately agrees on it. When Asakura gets asked what it means, he responds with a type of martial arts that his uncle likes. It's nighttime, and the delinquents are waiting in front of the same restaurant from the beginning for Kenji, but it seems that he's not coming. A middle-aged man appears, assuming that all of them are here for the part-time job. That's when an upperclassman of Oba appears, dragging all of them into the part-time job that he's in. The next morning, Asakura rushes to his friends to tell them that there is already in their school a band with a similar name, Kobijutsu. When Kenji gets asked what to do, he responds with nothing. Asakura suggests that he can force them to change their name, but instead Kenji wants to listen listen to them play. They search all around the school for them. Kobijutsu, knowing that they are delinquents and assume they are gonna get beat up and lose their fingers, decide that they should split up, but not until Kenji finds them. He actually tries to be polite, but just comes out as a weird passive-aggressive. He asks for them to play, and Morita, the folk music club leader, is surprised by this. One funny thing to mention is that Morita is voiced by a female, yet every time he or she, I actually don't know the gender, sings, the voice is swapped with a whole man. After the performance, Kenji is amazed and now wants to play for them. When they are finished, Morita decides to invite them to play to a rock festival, being astonished by their performance. They end up telling Aya, and she's super excited, yet suggests for them to find a singer. Kenji thinks that Aya should be the singer, and she's kinda forced into it. She goes home early so she can practice, but the only problem with this part is that it's a huge plot hole. For the rest of the movie she just never sings, so this scene felt kinda pointless. Morita offers them the program so they can see the order of the events. Asakura and Ota get nervous, so Morita suggests for them to record themselves playing and listen to it. After they listen to the recording, they calm down, knowing they'll do great, but Kenji has an announcement for them. He wants to quit the band since he got bored. Ota visits Morita at work and talks about what happened. Ota explains that's how Kenji usually is, so it's nothing out of the blue. Morita offers some flyers to Ota to spread around for the festival. After Aya finds out about Kenji quitting, she decides to comfort him about it. After a little fighting, he decides to grab her ass. Aya turns around and punches him, knocking him down. He sits there for more than a minute, contemplating, probably. Without Kenji, Ota and Asakura have to practice without him, which means just hitting the strings and the drums continuously. We get transition to Kobijutsu. Morita tries to play the guitar, attracting people for the festival, while the other two try to give out flyers, yet they have no success. And here comes my favorite scene. Morita, filled with anger, goes all out, playing extremely aggressive. The art style changes to something that looks drawn with crayons, slowly becoming more chaotic. At first I thought they just recorded someone playing and then added an effect, but that's not the case. It's obvious that it was hand drawn. Also, the music Morita is playing is so great. I'll leave a few seconds so you guys can hear it too. The guys from Arataki found out that Kenji will play during the festival, so they make a plan to go there so they can ruin his performance. The festival started, and Kenji isn't there yet. Leaving his house with his bass, the delinquents find him and give him some options to either get his ass beaten or to destroy his own guitar. But before Oba can finish talking, Kenji slams the guitar in the ground. But plot twist, Kenji pulls out a recorder. He's playing while also running towards the festival, creating a really amusing chase scene. Meanwhile, the bands are playing, and sadly, during Kobijutsu's performance, the guitar straps rips from Morita, making the guitar fall and accidentally stop playing, leaving them in an embarrassment. Kobijutsu has to play, and Kenji still isn't there. But right before they start, he jumps on the platform, taking everyone by surprise. Morita, inspired by their playing, jumps in and starts playing with them. Morita's friends also join soon after. The instruments start to blend in, the music becoming somewhat chaotic but still enjoyable. The art style keeps changing, making the visuals really unique. It kinda reminds me of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. At the end of the performance, Kenji does a solo and starts singing with all of his power while crying. We get to see Aya and Kenji sitting alone in the classroom talking. Apparently the band has broken up, but it's possible in the future for them to retry. Kenji confesses to Aya by inviting her to Disneyland. The movie ends with Kenji running out of school, extremely excited. That's it. It's a really funny yet well-structured movie. I genuinely liked it, and I suggest for you to watch it with your friends or even family. It's pretty short, it's about 1 hour long without the credits. The plot is nothing unique, yet the movie was so greatly directed that it made it feel like one of a kind. The characters were really amusing and realistic. Their conversations and interactions made the most simplistic scenes hilarious. Thanks for watching. And I don't really do this at the end, but it would be great if you guys would like and subscribe because damn, nobody's watching me. Alright, I'll see you in the next one.